We'll wait for a couple of minutes and then start at 10:30 exactly. People are joining in. Shall we start? Good morning, everybody, and good morning, everybody, and a very warm welcome to this interesting session today on wellness and well-being for women. Let me set the context up front at the outset. While we understand that wellness is gender agnostic, it's uh, it's also so vast a domain that it needs to be addressed in several parts. And somewhere in this process, there are now research articles and papers coming up talking about how wellness or the industry of wellness needs to look at wellness for women and wellness for men separately. And keeping that in mind, we thought we are a group of women entrepreneurs and we talk to women leaders, women professionals all the time. And therefore, we thought that this is one area which somehow needs attention. And therefore, the theme wellness and well-being for entrepreneurs. We have a very interesting panel today, interesting and well accomplished. People with a range of experiences, people with very rich experience in fitness, in counseling, in mentoring, in banking, etc. When we look at wellness, we're talking about uh, an overall, a holistic view, look, the emotional, the financial, the social, and the health, the physical and the mental health. So when we would today like to present to you as a panel a view to help you understand that all of these are very strongly interlinked and that they work together. So today, if you take away just a message on how you want to define your personal wellness, be it a man or a woman, I think we would have done a good job of setting the message right. Let me introduce the the panel today. So the panelists will be introduced by the moderator. So my pleasant duty is to introduce Dr. Kamal Jadhav, who is going to moderate this session. Now, Dr. Kamal Jadhav is for our group of friends. We are examiners together. And as examiners in our group of examiners, in our community of examiners, Kamal is a sort of an icon for fitness. And therefore, I thought that Kamal has to be the moderator for this panel. So Dr. Kamal Jadhav has been a professor of English with Jai Hind College, Mumbai. And apart from academic duties, she looked after public speaking and drama as well. Also, she has been an anchor and moderator with Bombay Doordarshan for its English programs covering current affairs, panel discussions on various subjects with young entrepreneurs at that time, people like A.D. Singh, Shahab Durazi, Niranjan Hirannandani, and others. Till before the pandemic, she was comparing corporate programs at AGMs, conferences, etc. So happy to hand over to you, Kamal, and all the best to all the panelists. Thank you for participating. Thank you for joining us. Over to you, Kamal.
Thank you. Thanks, Aparna. Good morning, friends. Wellness and well-being is the topic for our discussion this morning. And we have a highly experienced panel of experts with us. As Aparna has already said, they're all entrepreneurs in the wellness sector, and they will guide us through empowerment of girls and women, through sanitation, hygiene, nutrition and health, livelihood training and education, so that they can become active contributors to a healthy and thriving society. The principle of gender equality is enshrined in the Indian Constitution. Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao Yojana, Mahila Eha, Mahila Shakti Kendra are some of the flagship programs initiated by the Government of India to empower women. But are they working on the ground? How successfully have they been implemented? We'll try to assess the situation. A woman is the full circle. Within her is the power to create, nurture, and transform. How can we help her realize her true potential? Our panelists this morning are working hard in areas of economic, physical, social, mental, and emotional well-being of women in rural and urban areas. They will share their experiences on the ground with us. Importantly, we will also discuss how COVID has impacted all women, those affected by the virus and those not directly affected by it. Our panelists are Ms. Reema Sen, Ms. Swagatika Priyambada, Ms. Nehal Padhe, and Dr. Vishwal Kadole. We begin with Ms. Reema Sen, who was a banker for over 20 years and worked with ANZ Greenlace Bank, Standard Chartered Bank, ING, and Kotak Mahindra Bank. Some of the positions she held were Director Global Corporates, Head Business Risk South Asia, and Country Head for Banks and Financial Institutions for ING Bank. She quit banking to turn consultant and help small companies to raise funding. She has now turned social entrepreneur and is actively into building social communities. Aspire for Her, with which Ms. Sen is working, recently launched an initiative for women who have lost spouses, parents, breadwinners in this pandemic. And this initiative is very aptly called Not Alone. And the services they offer include peer group support, grief counseling, and emotional healing sessions with experts. They also hold advisory sessions on inheritance management related to legal matters, finance and insurance, and more importantly, resources to help them upskill, get employed, or start a business. First of all, Ms. Sen, may I call you Reema?
Of course. Kamal, thank you so much for the introduction.
Thank you. Reema, what prompted you to quit banking? You were holding high positions in the banking sector. You gave it all up. Why? What was the motivator?
What bugged me, right, Kamal? So good morning to everybody. And thank you so much, Aparna, for giving us this opportunity. So Kamal, in all my roles, I had actually transformed the businesses completely. I had the ability to turbocharge business and make them into something else. And in ING, I had the opportunity to start business from scratch and take my bank into the top 3 positions in our chosen business. So when Kotak took over ING, I continued for a year and a half, but the itch to create something new stayed with me. And that's what prompted me to become an entrepreneur and a consultant.
So you've been a banker and entrepreneur. Please do share your learning experiences with us.
Yeah, I think so. During my time as both as a banker and as a consultant trying to help companies raise funding, some of the common themes that I come across, entrepreneurs love creating. They follow their passion and they just focus on this big idea that they want to create. And it's especially true of women. they don't like to get into the nitty-gritties of finance. They don't like to get into nitty-gritties of statutory approvals, of taxation and all that. Then they leave it to somebody, and that somebody might not be the most right person to be taking over that function. While initially it is all right and it is okay, you can manage to build a business, to have an initial framework, you can start with that. It becomes very difficult to scale up, because that junior person who is in charge of finances will not be able to do the right job when he or she is talking to a bank or a financial institution to present the true picture of the company. So I have seen established pharma companies that have exports globally, and they were struggling because they were not able to manage working capital efficiently. So one of the first things that I always tell all entrepreneurs is to please don't ignore that element of treasury or fundraising and finance. Don't just delegate it to somebody else. Please get involved in that. It is equally important. Again, please do not neglect statutory filings, etc. Don't leave it to a chartered accountant thinking he will do it. They will never do it. It is your business. It's your statutory filing. If there's any delay in filing any return, the penalties can be prohibitive. So it is best to keep monitoring these things along with somebody, along with the chartered accountant, so that they don't miss out on this thing. The other thing I have realized is it's very tempting to record sales, to record revenue generation. And sometimes that means you're giving credit to people who you may not know that well. Now, I would strongly recommend that please resist the temptation to record sales at the cost of having bad debts on your book. A lot of organizational bandwidth gets wasted when you're chasing after debtors to recover your money. Your liquidity cycle gets choked. And as a small entrepreneur, as a small business, you need liquidity. That has to be the mantra. Cash is king. Choose your first financing partner well, choose your bank well, speak to other people who have had some experience with the bank, because that becomes critical, because they are the ones who are going to be partnering you when your business needs increased funding, increased financing. So please go through the documentation that they send and try and always keep a network of other banks ready, because when you expand, you will need another bank to come into your financing arrangement. Again, important to keep your business and personal credit profiles clean, as that is going to be the first check that any bank does on your personal CIBIL score, and of course on your organization credit score as well. The other thing that I've picked out is that if you're an entrepreneur, you may have the best idea, you may have the best execution and everything, but please remember that you have to plan for investment. It is not difficult, it is not easy to get seed funding, to get the initial round of funding. And again, a lot of bandwidth gets spent in trying to prepare financial models and prepare pitch decks and talk to VCs, talk to investors. So you must have that plan ready when you start out on this, that you need to be able to fund through yourself, through your friends and family for at least a couple of years before you can approach institutional investors. The other thing, it has happened to a friend of mine. He went and discussed his idea with VCs. They went into advanced stages of discussion. His ideas were shared. He shared his financial model. And then he realized that his idea had got stolen by the same VC. So you need to be careful about protecting your idea and who you're speaking with. Finally, and this is true especially for women entrepreneurs, when I have seen when women entrepreneurs plan their business models, they like to keep it realistic. They're conservative and they say, this looks doable, this is achievable. But what a VC really wants to see, he wants to see your audacity or vision. How much can you, if the sky is blue and if all your resources are in place, what is it that your idea can achieve? Women are often guilty of not projecting enough, of not being ambitious enough. So that is something that I would encourage all women to do when they are setting out their business plans. When you're setting out your business plans, when you're setting out your goals for yourself for over a 5-year period, you please imagine that everything is there in its place. Your idea is compelling, and hence, what is the real potential of your idea if everything was in place? And that is what you must present to your potential investors. Finally, personal and family financial matters of financial fitness, these are equally important. Please don't keep this for your parents or your spouses to handle. You are equally responsible for your personal financial fitness as well as your family financial fitness. And I think that's about it.
Thanks, Rima. Thank you for those opening remarks. We now meet Swagatika Priyambada, who is a development sector professional and co-founder of Withstand Fitness Private Limited. It's an online fitness startup. She's an alumnus of Bombay IIT, having completed MTech in Technology and Development from Sitara IIT Bombay. Through this startup, they aim to solve the problems of obesity in urban areas, primarily targeting the middle class and unemployment and migration issues in rural India. They want to start a platform, to provide a platform to trainers and talented youth from rural areas so that they can avail of guided live online sessions, nutrition plans, and other health-related issues. Their motto, affordable, convenient, accessible health services. Swagatika believes that in development, intent is the key element. She believes she has the right intent together with valuable expertise and experience. She's passionate about working for the bottom 80% in areas of education, youth mentorship, micro enterprises, nutrition, food, forest, environment, agricultural land, and water bodies restoration. Presently, Swagatika is Deputy Manager CSR Atul Limited. She graduated with an MTech in Technology and Development at Sitara IIT Bombay. Her past experience was in power plants, where she worked as a mechanical engineer for 5 years in various departments that included site work and corporate office work. Swagatika's inner motivation to work for the bottom of the pyramid drove her career in the direction of the development sector. Swagatika, how do you aim to solve the problem of obesity in urban areas? And why this special focus on the middle classes?
Thank you, ma'am, for the introduction. I think you covered almost all aspects of my career. So thank you for the wonderful introduction. So basically, obesity in urban areas, we are going to talk about that because first of all, if we define what is obesity, it is actually excessive accumulation of fat, and this may lead to various health issues. So obesity is exactly, it's not a disease, but the presence of obesity may lead to a number of diseases. So coming to the statistics, about 20% of Indian population are obese. So that is around 27 crores people in India fall in the range of obese or overweight category. So out of these, we say around 75% of the population stay in the urban area. So the urban population is more prone to obesity because of their lifestyle, because of the food habits and their work culture and everything. So really there is a big problem of obesity in India and in worldwide. In worldwide, around 2 billion people are obese or overweight category, and around 350 million children are obese. So this problem is becoming bigger by each day. And the reason what happens is the higher class generally have access to good health infrastructure, they have access to fitness centers, but the middle class society is the working society, and they do not generally have the time, the money, and the motivation to pursue fitness. So here we came out, so here was the gap that we found. So we started this startup, and we are trying to solve these problems in the fitness domain.
Thank you, Swagatika, for your opening remarks. We now meet Ms. Snehal Padhe. She's a therapist, counselor, and a life skills trainer. She's passionate about working with families, children, and young adults. empowering them in enhancing their emotional well-being and mental health. Snehal has been in this field for the last 10 years and currently based out of Bengaluru. As a counselor, she believes in using the person-centered approach, which means that the client is the best authority on their own experiences and therefore fully capable of fulfilling their own potential for growth. Snehal has also been part of a helpline providing counseling over the telephone for children, teenagers, and adults for about 9 years. She incorporates specific therapeutic techniques like cognitive behavioral therapy, transactional analysis, gestalt, and queer and kink affirmative practices in her approach. Snehal, thank you for joining us. In your experience, what are some common health concerns that women come to therapy with? And what are some useful coping mechanisms?
First of all, thank you for having me here, and Dr. Kamal, thank you for the introduction. Yeah, I've been in this space for 10 years and must say that women, I mean, I work with all genders, but since I'm aware that we are talking about women here, women health, and hence I would be, using women consistently. But I also believe that we all have a woman in us, irrespective of the gender. So I would like to try to keep it with that as the backdrop. I see a lot of concerns about mental health being brought in my experience about, of course, there are mental health issues. So I also work with people who have mental health issues, like, say, they're diagnosed with clinical depression or they're diagnosed with, say, anxiety disorders. And I'm working with them to understand how do they deal with it, cope with it. So in the concerns that come along with this are, of course, the shame associated with it. The same shame about not being able to talk to their loved ones or their family members or their workplaces and their peers about what's happening to them. So a large part of my work is to psychoeducate women in understanding that what you're going through is it's part of, probably a part of the disorder, but it's also part of what has happened to you in the past, what is present in the system, the marginalization that women go through. It is, the challenges are different from other genders. Of course, every gender has a different challenge, but yes, women also go through their set of challenges, and that can also lead to a lot of stress, and sometimes stress can lead to a lot of mental health discomforts. Some of the coping mechanisms I definitely speak to them about is, how do you take care of yourself in terms of the language that you use to talk to yourself. Like very often I've noticed that women are trained to be very self-critical. I agree with Ms. Rima, who said that they are very realistic, and in the process of being realistic, there's also this chopping off of what they deserve and also what they desire. So there's already a containment of that, which a lot of times I'm working with women about that. Can we create a space? Because the space that gets created in the therapy space is that you talk about it, you don't have to worry about anything. Can you just speak? So that it works in their way of addressing themselves when they're going through crisis, because that's when a lot of things get triggered. I have also been working with women in the perinatal mental health section, where when during pregnancy or before, after. So a lot of times the family and the career choices. What do they do? I have noticed that women feel way more guilty, and there is an element of shame that also gets associated with their choices if they were to choose career over children. And a lot of times then I'm working with their beliefs, set of beliefs, what makes them believe that, where are they hearing it from, whose voice do they hear in their heads. So largely my work is, the coping mechanism would be to focus on how do you speak to yourself. Of course, saying no whenever it is required. Largely, there's there's a large discomfort that the women go through when they have to say no. So I also talk to them, because I'm a life skills trainer as well. Talk to them about anger, talk to them about how do you convey your anger, what are the different styles of communications that you can use to do so, and make sure that it gets integrated in your well-being. Definitely, there is another aspect of which is self-care. Like, how do you take care of yourselves in managing family, managing career? Are you able to take time out to say, let's say, play, or are you able to take time out to do some hobby of yours, which really makes you feel good, not for anybody else, but just for yourself? These are some of the key aspects that I focus on, and definitely it also depends upon what's coming in the therapy space individually.
Thanks very much for those interesting insights, Snehal. We now move on to meet Dr. Vishwal Padole. She's a physio by profession and an engineer at heart. She calls herself a proud DPSite. She's a national level speed skater and was captain of various teams in her school. Vishwal calls herself a sports jock and passionately wanted to do something in the field of sports and fitness. She became a physiotherapist, and after graduating from Mumbai University in 2018, she worked in several speed skating academies, football clubs, Barcelona Academy, badminton academies, and at various hospitals, also at a company called Healthcare at Home. Recently, Dr. Padole founded We Rehab Tech with the single-minded mission of meeting the needs of affordable physiotherapy from home, leveraging the power of technology. Vishwal, why this fascination for speed skating? First of all, let's get that out of the way.
Yes, thank you so much, Dr. Kamal, for introducing me. That was very kind. And about speed skating is something that came very naturally to me. I fell in love with the sport the moment I wore my first skate when I was 6 years old. So I was very fascinated even before that, but then I just fell in love with the sport. Right.
So why is it important, Vishwal, not to ignore your health as a mother, a girl child, and a working woman? How will it affect your future self?
So thank you for asking that question. I would like to answer this by telling my own story. And for that, I will like to share my screen. Just a second. Okay, here it is. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes. So I would like to begin by asking a question to all of you here. Have you ever said that I need to get through this day and tomorrow I'll go see a physiotherapist or orthopedic specialist for my pain, and that tomorrow never came? I'm sure I do it most of the time, and you also do it you must have been doing it most of the time. That evil persistent pain, it started affecting plenty of your activities, distracting you from your work, your growth, so long that you learned to live with it. If you're doing so, just stop. So here's my story. I was an inline speed skater. Yes, I was. And started competing professionally from 8th grade. That is when I was like 13 years old. So being an athlete, we are all aware that falls and injuries are a part of life, right? So once I suffered, just a second, I wasn't working. Hello?
Yes, yes. We can hear you. Vishwal, will you carry on?
Vishwal, we can hear you.
I think Vishwal, you have to unmute yourself.
Okay, hello?
Are you muted, Vishwal? Are you muted?
No, ma'am, I think it's working. Okay. I think
Yes, so please go ahead.
yes. Uh, so I think I have a little bit of network issue. So sorry about that. Anyway, so I'll just go on. So I was saying, being an athlete, we are all aware of the falls and injury are part of our life. And I once suffered a fall and a dull pain in my right knee started developing. And in the last year of my competitive speed skating career, the pain in my right knee was not dull anymore. And during the last event of my career, it increased exponentially. And because of the nervousness and stress of the race, it just added to it. So, and for the sake of just getting used to track, I practiced even more, which just again added to the existing pain. I still participated in the event and it started well. My adrenaline must have shoot up that at that time, and I wasn't feeling any pain. And I was there in that race, completely focused, skating as if my life depends on it. And I managed to have almost one lap of a lead, right? That is huge in skating. So now it was just the last lap, and I had to survive the last two turns and cross the finish line. And I knew that I was going to win. No matter what, I knew that I was going to win. But that pain, remember that persistent dull pain that I ignored for some reason. Because of that, the muscles of my right thigh got tensed up just to protect my knee. And as a result, I lost the balance and the race as well. I fell so hard on the track that even touching my feet on the ground turned out to be agonizing. I lost that race that I was so close to winning and get selected for the national level competition. Just all the hopes and dreams shattered only because I was living a lie. Next day, I'll go to a physiotherapist or sports ortho. I tolerated that pain, abused my own knee for some reason, and it backfired on me on the most crucial competition of my life. After that fall, I was not actually able to feel my knee for a month. And a lot of people suggested me that I should stop skating or playing any kind of sports or at all if I wanted to walk. But there was one physiotherapist who changed my mind. Just after a few weeks of continuous treatment, she made sure I get back to sports as soon as possible, and I did, but just not competitively, but recreationally. And so I want to say here is, in our busy lives and for passion, for our dreams, work, and taking care of everyone in the family, we often neglect and ignore and delay simple signs and symptoms. That dull pain, that little discomfort, that something will slowly start affecting not only your physical activities, but also your work, your mental health, and will surely put a big hole in your wallet. So, speaking from personal experience, stop neglecting it, get out of your head, and listen to what your body is saying. So, get that consultation. So, my inspiration to become a physiotherapist started then. And I ended up founding an online physiotherapy and remote care company. We are now expanding verticals into orthotech devices for remote monitoring of walking patterns. So, for closing this question, to all the ladies out there, to everyone, in fact, ignorance is not a bliss when our own body asks us to stop. Take that break. And in today's world, that one life saving consultation is just a click away. So that's it from my side. I hope.
Thank you very much for that very inspiring real life story. I'm sure a lot of people will take some tips and your advice as well. Now, Rima, we keep talking about physical fitness. How important is holistic fitness? What are your thoughts on that?
So it was very inspiring to hear everybody else, and everybody's been speaking of physical fitness and mental fitness. Nehal, I think, put it beautifully that in women have this self-critical voice in their head, which carries them along throughout their lives, and we are kind of conditioned like that. We're never good enough. We're never this. We're never that. One thing that I have realized is it's a holistic fitness, which means you have to take care of your body, mind, and soul. Even your mind cannot rule you. Quite often, we just get lost in what our minds are telling us. I think a lot of people here don't understand English, so I'll speak in Hindi
Yes,
as well.
please.
कि जो दिमाग में जो रहता है ना, वो ही हमारे वो जहन में रह जाता है कि ये करना है, वो करना है, हमसे ये नहीं हो पा रहा है, वो नहीं हो पा रहा है, दूसरे लोग ये कर रहे हैं, मैं नहीं कर पा रही हूँ, शायद मुझ में कुछ खराबी है, कुछ है, ऐसा है. तो my point is, see, we have to get out of this body. I mean, we have to take care of our body, we have to take care of our mind. But at some point of time, we need to take care of ourselves. We have to realize that we are much more than our body and mind. It has to be body, mind, and soul. So whatever it is that you believe in, whether you believe in God, you don't believe in God, you believe in nature, whatever it is, whatever is your go-to, what should I say, principle in life, or your deity, or whatever, you must spend some time with yourself, with nature, or with your Bhagwan, with music or poetry or creativity. But that is what, unless your soul is nourished, your body and mind will always be a little troubled. So it is important that we look at a holistic fitness. We look at nourishing all parts of our life, which is body, mind, and of course soul.
Thanks, Rima. At this point, I'd like to request anyone who has something to say on any of the topics that have been spoken. You're most welcome to come in. Now we are into a freewheeling discussion. I'd like to ask Swagatika, how is your startup helping solve unemployment and migration issues in rural India? Swagatika?
Yes, ma'am. So basically, I am a student of Sitara from IIT Bombay, and we generally look into issues that rural India is facing and try to develop technology which would help them. So we had this 2-month summer field stay in village. So we stayed in Koraput in Odisha for 2 months. And what I observed is these children, the children and the youth over there were equally motivated, talented, they were vibrant, they had all the energy in the world, but they lacked direction and guidance. So, and our education system, the way it is, they are not able to match with the system and find a proper career, build a proper career out of them. So what I felt is they are naturally blessed. They have that physical strength, stamina. They are talented in that area. So why not we train them as trainers? And these trainers can give online sessions to the people residing in urban areas who are facing the issue of obesity. Basically, what happens is when people go to gyms, they generally have very less interaction with a trainer. They are mostly focused into a treadmill or something. So slowly their motivation dries out. But what a mentor, like I personally had this, I have this experience that when I was doing on my own, I had faced a lot of injuries and I lost motivation. But when I found another co-founder of our company, when I found him, he's a trainer, and when I found him, I developed so much. I developed my food eating habits, and I developed my physical strength, and that is the value a mentor can add to your life. So I felt that why our middle class a section of society is missing on this. When we have so much of resources, why not utilize them to provide that personal mentorship? So that is the goal of our company, that is to utilize the rural sports talents or the people who are talented in this field, train them as trainers and provide them online jobs, which they can do staying close to their village. So that will solve two problems. One is of employment and other is of migration. And they can even carry out their other occupations such as agriculture or fishing or craftsmanship, whatever is their family business. So that way it is nurturing all section of society, and the urban, like the rural will help the urban and the urban will help the rural. So it is a symbiotic relationship.
That sounds like a really good idea. So what has the response been like to this startup of yours? Has it been encouraging?
Yes, ma'am. So we have started with the customer side, but the rural side, for the rural side, we are designing our guidelines. We are designing the work plans. We are preparing a website which will support them in conducting this. And we have also identified the schools and the areas where we can go and approach them. So presently, that is why, presently we are looking for some kind of funding, so that once we receive that funding, we can go probably to these areas and we can start a small setup of ours and can start this work presently. So basically, presently we are working on the background ideas, and we also have few customers and we have few trainers, but we are basically now on the team building stage, and we will probably start by the end of this year or next year and start going to the rural areas.
So all the best for that venture, Swagatika. Now, Snehal, we keep talking about work-life balance. It's very frequently spoken of. Is it different for every gender? And I'd like to know, what is the role of gender role modeling in understanding the mental and emotional well-being of an individual?
Yeah. All right. एक तो मैं पहले ये बताना चाहूंगी कि शुरुआत में मैंने चैट पढ़ी नहीं थी, तो मैं जानती नहीं थी कि हिंदी में भी बात कर सकते हैं. सो स्टार्टिंग विद दैट, तो मैं बीच में हिंदी में भी बात करने की कोशिश करूंगी और इंग्लिश भी डालूंगी. जेंडर रोल्स हर तरह के, जैसे मैंने शुरुआत में कहा कि हर तरह के जेंडर को अलग अलग चैलेंजेस फेस करने पड़ते हैं, और वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस में सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट मुद्दा ये हो जाता है कि किसे चूज करें, प्रायोरिटाइज कैसे करें, सबसे पहले किसको रखें. कई बार बहुत सारी शर्मिंदगी होती है कि हमने ये यूज किया, हमने हमारे बारे में ज्यादा सोचा, बच्चों के बारे में कम सोचा, खाने के बारे में कम सोचा, न्यूट्रिशन के बारे में कम सोचा. तो जहां तक मैंने औरतों के साथ जब काम किया है और मेरा खुद का अनुभव ये रहा है कि सबसे ज्यादा वो इंटरनल फाइट्स होती है, जिसमें हम काफी बार उलझे पड़े होते हैं. तो मेरे एक्सपीरियंस में हम ज्यादातर जितने लोगों से मैंने काम किया है, औरतें ज्यादातर पेट्रियार्कल सिस्टम से आती हैं, तो उसकी वजह से हम काफी कुछ चीजें हम सिस्टम से बोरो करते हैं, जो हमें रोल मॉडलिंग में नजर आती है, जो हमें हमारी कहानियों में नजर आती है, हमारे खेल में नजर आती है. तो ऐसे बहुत सटल से हमेशा हमें कुछ मैसेजिंग किया जाता है. सो मेरे हिसाब से पहले तो हमें उस मैसेजिंग को जैसे कहा गया यहाँ पे कि थोड़ी देर अगर शांत बैठ के पूछा जाए कि ये मैंने कहाँ से सीखा, ये कहाँ से आया, मेरी ये सोच कैसे डेवलप हुई. अगर हम थोड़ी सी इसमें जर्नी कर लेते हैं ये समझने में, क्योंकि I know I'm talking to entrepreneurs, so they are people with aspirations, stories, wanting to do something, passion, सब कुछ मौजूद है वहां पे. But sometimes to dip into yourself and check, where am I with all of this? कि मैंने कहाँ से सीखा? Just like it's like knowing to drive your car. अगर आपके gear systems पता है, तो you can drive the car. The road जैसी भी हो, you will be able to drive it. You know when to apply the brakes.
मेरे को इसका दे दो.
All right. Can I request a mute, please? Sorry. All right.
Yeah, carry on, Snehal.
Yeah, sorry. So I got distracted. Yeah, so I think ये बहुत जरूरी है कि हम अपने आप में झांक के देखें और जेंडर रोल्स को आइडेंटिफाई करें. क्या होता है, कहानियां कौन सी सुन रहे हैं, कौन सी मूवीज देख रहे हैं, कौन से आर्टिकल्स पढ़ रहे हैं. जैसे this is a great initiative where women are coming together and talking about challenges, and you're getting to know more and more women who are into entrepreneurship. So that itself is breaking certain patterns, and that's a part of my job, to question the patterns, break the patterns, identify them, work with them. So call yourself the trendsetters. Think about what happens to you within and use that material to take yourself forward. I think that's what I would like to talk here about.
Thank you, Snehal. You've given us much food for thought. We'll come back to you. Vishwal, would you emphasize again how important it is to get the right consultation? Would you just let us know? Because a lot of times we don't go the right way, and then we end up with a lot of problems that could have been avoided. So could you please just tell us that?
Yes. So for that, I would like to tell you, our always in with everyone, we have this thing that we always go to a general physician, right? Whatever pain it is, whatever injury it is, and that's good. That's not bad. That's really good. But if you have a physical pain, like say knee pain, low back pain, neck pain, you are experiencing tingling numbness in your hands or in your feet or something like that, your limb or broke your ligament or something, right? You go to a orthopedic specialist or a physiotherapist, right? Only there you will get the proper diagnosis done and the treatment as well, right? So going to a general physician, you will get the painkillers and I guess muscle relaxants for most, but you won't get that proper treatment, right? You won't get your x-ray done, you won't get your exercise done, which will help you get more stronger to avoid falls further, to avoid injuries. That precautions that you have to take, you will get those things only from orthopedic specialist or a physiotherapist. So that is it for
Thank you.
physical pain and
Yeah.
injuries only.
Anything else, Vishwal?
Well, no, I guess since I was talking about physical pain and injury, so for that you will have to go there. Otherwise, you can, if you are experiencing any mental disturbance or anything, any kind of stress, you can go to Snehal. If you want to get fit, you can go to Swagatika, I guess. Right.
Yes, you're right. Yeah, all together we make up the complete whole.
Yes.
Rima, you launched Not Alone. So would you tell us what it's all about, and could you briefly just touch on the domestic violence issue that is prevalent in our society very much, in all societies? So could you just tell us about this?
So I will, I'll just touch upon the domestic violence first, and I will go back to what Snehal said. She had this point that, we are fed with these messages from our childhood. And when we started working, the image that we had to do was, oh, we are the super moms, we have to be perfect in our careers. We can't compromise on our careers. So, and we have to be perfect moms, the perfect homemaker, the perfect everything. And that kind of, puts a lot of pressure on us. I just wanted to touch upon that. I think Snehal brought out a very, very valid point. And domestic violence can be in different forms. It doesn't need to be just beating up. It could be mental abuse, it could be verbal abuse. If you keep on telling somebody कि आप ये भी नहीं कर पा रहे, आपसे तो कुछ होता ही नहीं है, आप क्यों नहीं कर पाते हो, दूसरे लोग करते हैं, दूसरे औरतें कर रहे हैं, आप क्यों नहीं कर पा रहे हो, आप में ही कुछ प्रॉब्लम है. And if you keep hearing this day in and day out, then that message stays with you. वो रह जाता है कि हाँ, मुझसे शायद कुछ नहीं हो पाएगा, मैं ये चालू करूँ पता नहीं, मैं तो कुछ कर नहीं पाऊंगी, ये भी मेरा कुछ नहीं होने वाला है. So that kind of violence is even worse, because there is no beating up, there is no physical violence, but that is abuse, which is even more dangerous because it destroys the woman from inside. अंदर से वो एकदम टूट जाती है, उसको बाहर से वो एक कॉन्फिडेंस, एक फसाद रह जाता है, but अंदर से there's nothing, that strength is not there कि I can do something. It is not my fault if I haven't been able to cook the food perfectly that day. It is fine, it is okay. It is okay to not be perfect all the time. I think that expectation that society has and people have, that you have to be perfect in everything. We have set very high standards. Also, I think, is because we have a lot of goddesses, and goddesses are perfect, so they are everything. They are like the supreme everything. So we don't want to be goddesses. We just want to be normal human beings. So that is touching upon the
Rima,
domestic.
one moment. Rima, I just wanted to ask you, do you think a lot of this has to do with the conditioning that girl children are brought up with in the family, where they are in some way inferior to the male siblings? And so they grow up thinking that way. So ultimately, it's the mothers who also bring up children like this. So do we have some part of the blame?
Yeah, of course. It is not just sibling. It is the way it is also because the mothers have been conditioned that way. So when the mothers are being conditioned in that way, they are passing on their wisdom to their daughters. So the mother will say, the greatest thing I always say, you've got a good husband, at least he does this. Nobody ever says, कि अरे आपकी पत्नी कितनी अच्छी है, वो ये भी कर रही है, वो भी कर रही है, वो भी कर रही है. They will never say that you are doing a great job. अरे your husband is so adjusting. See, he's a good father. See, he takes care of the child. But the wife, the mother is always expected to take care of the child. And if she's not doing something, she's on the defensive. कि आप नहीं कर रहे, आपके पति कितना करते हैं, आप तो ऐसे बैठे हो. So you see that conditioning starts with the mother, with the grandmother, with the family, and with everybody. So it has to be a change that happens across generations. So
now will you tell us about Not Alone, Rima?
Yes, please. So Aspire for Her is a platform, and Dr. Aparna works very closely with Aspire for Her. It is a platform for motivating and supporting women to come into the workplace and to support them to stay in the workforce, whether it's through careers or through entrepreneurship opportunities. But so what was Not Alone? While we were focusing on all this, we realized that a lot of people, a lot of families within our own immediate network were getting impacted due to the second surge of COVID. A lot of women, some of our friends, were being, what should I say, left alone by their husbands dying, or the parents not being around, or even siblings, children, who were also the primary breadwinners. And we realized that a lot of the women were not even, they hadn't even passed their class 10, or they hadn't even passed their class 12. We assume metro mein hai to graduation, she will be a graduate. No, wo to hona hi hai. It is not the case. And a lot of women didn't even know कि bank account है कि नहीं. Forget कि number क्या है, bank account भी नहीं है, वो भी उनको पता नहीं है. And that is how this whole program started. We are providing these women who are coming, who are trusting us to be a part of their journey. We are very honored, or we are very humbled by that. What we are providing these women is a peer group network, because if they see कि और एक भी औरत है वहाँ पे जो मेरी तरह है, मैं भी हूँ, वो भी है, एक साथ हम कुछ कर सकते हैं. There's always strength in numbers. We're offering counseling sessions. We're offering group healing sessions. But somebody pointed out that, look, when a woman dies, or when a person dies, our legal system is so complicated. To get a succession certificate, you have to get a will probated, you have to get your bank accounts, nomination hai, nahi hai, financial assets hai. So for that, we said we will have experts coming and giving advisory sessions on different aspects. For example, one of our friends didn't know that once the person has passed away, you don't need to pay insurance premium. She actually paid the insurance premium after her husband had passed away. These are simple things, all right? And then, of course, what we also are trying to do is enable these women to restart life through upskilling themselves, through some kind of career opportunities or referral, or to encourage them to start a small business. It's not an easy journey. We have already had 40 women who have kind of signed up with us. This has been just less than 10 days that we have launched.
Rima, one moment. You're speaking some very, very important things. Could you please speak in Hindi now, if you don't mind? Because these are very important points.
Yeah. So जो औरतें हैं जिन्होंने इस कोविड के वजह से, या जो भी वजह से, जिन्होंने अपने पति को खोया है, या अपने माँ बाप को खोया है, भाई बहन बच्चे, जो कमा रहे थे, जो पैसा, जो जिनसे पैसा, आई एम सॉरी, दोज हु वर एक्चुअली अर्निंग, और उनके पास अभी वो साधन भी नहीं है, आर्थिक साधन भी कम है, तो उन औरतों के लिए we have started this program, Not Alone. मैं अकेली नहीं हूँ, मेरे साथ और भी बहुत लोग हैं जो मेरे साथ इस मेरी जो अभी स्थिति है, ये जो मेरा एक जर्नी है, दे वांट टू बी पार्ट ऑफ दिस जर्नी। हम एक साथ कोशिश करें कि उनको काउंसलिंग दे, सो दैट जो जो ग्रीफ है, जो अंदर जो दुख है, वो थोड़ा किसी के साथ वो रो सके। हमेशा ऐसा होता नहीं है कि परिवार में कोई है जिससे वो खुल के बात कर सके, तो अगर और कोई है जिससे वो बात कर सके, ये कोशिश है हमारी। उसके साथ साथ जब आप सबको पता है कि हमारे देश में कानून की व्यवस्था जो है, उसमें जब कोई गुजर जाता है तो फिर वो एस्टेट मिलना, घर का कैसे ट्रांसफर होना है, पैसे का कैसे, यहाँ पे नॉमिनी कैसे हुआ है कि नहीं है, विल है कि नहीं है, ये सब कुछ चीजें होती है जो सबको बहुत तकलीफ देती है। जैसे मेरी नानी 10 साल हो गए हैं, अभी भी मैं उनके वो प्रॉपर्टी को लेके मैं अभी भी स्ट्रगल कर रही हूँ, अपने खुद के बारे में बोल रही हूँ। तो उस टाइम पे जब ये औरत एकदम अकेली होती है, उसको पता नहीं होता कि क्या करना है, तो हम कोशिश करें जो लॉयर्स हैं, जो चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट्स हैं, जो ये मामलों में जो एक्सपर्ट हैं, वो आके थोड़ा सा बात करें इनसे कि क्या क्या करना होता है, क्या नहीं होता है। ये एक सेशन हम भी कर रहे हैं। सो काउंसलिंग सेशन है, एक ये सेशन है जहाँ पे लीगल, बैंकिंग, प्रोविडेंट फंड, इंश्योरेंस, इन मामलों पे भी चर्चा होने वाला है। और तीसरा है कि अगर इन औरतों को फिर से हमको आत्मनिर्भर बनाना है, हम नहीं चाहते हैं कि औरतें किसी के सहानुभूति के ऊपर ही डिपेंडेंट हो, उनको खुद को। और जो औरतें आई हैं, मैं आपको बता सकती हूँ, सब बहुत यंग है, 30 साल की है, 29 साल की है, उनकी छोटी छोटी बच्चियां हैं। जब जो हमारे साथी है, जो हमारे साथ काम कर रहे हैं, तो जब वो उनसे बात किए तो इनको पता नहीं था कि हमारे साथी कैसे बोले, क्या बोले, लेकिन ये औरतें दे वर सो ब्रेव, एकदम बहुत दे वर वेरी करेजियस, और वो कह रही थी कि नहीं, हमको कुछ करना है, हमारी छोटी बच्चियां हैं, 3 साल की बच्ची है, 3 महीने की भी बच्ची है, इनके लिए मुझे कुछ करना है, इनकी जिंदगी को मुझे बनाना है। तो इन औरतों को थोड़ा सा कहीं पे नौकरी का कुछ कैसे हम क्या कर सकते हैं, अरेंजमेंट कर सकते हैं कि अगर वो थोड़ा सा छोटा सा कोई बिजनेस चालू कर सकते हैं, जैसे यहाँ पे जो मौजूद है इन्होंने किया है, ये हमको थोड़ा देखना है कैसे करना है। तो दिस इज द प्रोग्राम। अभी तक हमारे साथ 40 औरतें हैं जिन्होंने हम पे विश्वास किया है, एंड हम उनको कहना चाहते हैं कि आई मीन वी आर हम्बल्ड कि आपने हम पे इतना विश्वास किया, एंड हम आपका साथ इस यू नो इन दिस डिफिकल्ट पार्ट ऑफ द जर्नी, वी वांट टू एश्योर देम कि वो अकेली नहीं है, हम उनके साथ हैं। दैट इज द प्रोग्राम।
Thanks very much, Rima. That's really a great job that you're doing. Swagatika, I wanted to know why you're so passionate about working for the bottom 80% of the pyramid. I mean, what are the challenges of working with this particular group?
I'm basically, as I told you, that I spent 2 months in a village. So that was the time when I really realized that there is a huge potential and lack of opportunities in our rural India. So basically, I there from there the passion came that we need to. Basically, what I observed is every generation was going into the daily labor cycle. So they are, whether they are educated or not educated, they were becoming daily laborers or farm laborers. So in order to break that cycle, I thought that if we can provide them with job opportunities where they can earn anywhere between 10,000 to 30,000 per month, that would help them to come out of that poverty cycle. And secondly, it will empower them to make empower them for a better life. And basically, we also are focusing on female trainers because majority of our customers are female customers, and generally we have seen that the females are more comfortable to work out with a female trainer. So we are basically looking into that section of our rural population, which is the most vulnerable section. They are married at a young age. They are they are made to work both as at home and also at the farms. So in order, if we empower them, that would really bring empowerment to the whole community. And so that is our focus, and the challenges would be probably with the communication skill, with their handling of technology. But what we have observed is now there is, it's not like the rural people do not know how to operate a mobile phone or to do a video call. So they are, even they are aware of that thing. Only thing is they require little bit of guidance from our side, and if we can provide them that thing, they are good to go. And basically they have interest. If they have interest in this field, then we can definitely help them to grow in this area.
So Swagatika, do you find that responses that come from this bottom of the pyramid, the rural areas are much better than what you get from the middle classes? Have you found that? Do you think it's a little more difficult dealing with people who think they know it all than with the bottom 80% who want to learn and who are eager to learn and open to ideas?
Yeah, so it's very, actually, if you have like, if like one of my teammates who went along with me to the village, he was from Nepal, and he did not know the Odia language. uh, I'm a Odia, so I know the language, but the truth was, like, he could easily mingle with them, much easier than I could mingle with them. So that shows that there is no language barrier, there is no urban rural barrier. Like, once they have your trust, once they start trusting you, they are going to open their hearts, they're going to open their doors, they're going to give you free food, everything. Like, they are so they don't hold back. So they, in cities we generally see people hold back, and they don't want to uh, uh, like, they won't easily open the doors for you. But in village, once you gain their trust, they are so welcoming and warm that they will keep you like their daughter and son. So it's very easy, once you gain the trust in, it's very easy to mold them in any way, good or bad way. So and what we see that in village, like, these youths were, they, because they were directionless, they were going into wrong habits like alcohol and sports like PUBGs and all. So the whole day they would be playing all these games, and they have nothing to do. The parents really worry about them, that what they are going to do with their life. So all these things, we felt that we can use this youths and we can help them to do something ahead in their life.
Thank you. And now that we are in the middle of a pandemic, we are living in COVID times. So I think it was important that we touch upon how it has affected our lives. So Snehal, how has COVID affected individuals who are dealing with mental health concerns?
It's a tricky time right now. अभी की परिस्थिति इतनी अच्छी नहीं है, स्पेशली सेकेंड वेव के बाद मैंने काफी मेंटल हेल्थ इश्यूज, मतलब लोग एनिवर्सरी मनाने लगे हैं कि पिछले बार की कोविड में पिछले साल ये हुआ था, और इस बार तो उसकी वजह से ट्रॉमा थोड़ा सा अलग है इस बार, जब सेकेंड वेव में जो मैं देख रही हूँ। ज्यादातर लोग जो मेंटल हेल्थ इश्यूज से डील कर रहे होते हैं, उनको घबराहट होती है, उनको अकेले रहने में कभी कभी डर लगता है, कभी कभी ऐसी भी चीजें होती हैं जहाँ पे वो काफी लोगों के साथ नहीं रह सकते, तो लॉकडाउन की वजह से उनको घर में रहना जरूरी है। तो कई बार हमारी कोपिंग मैकेनिज्म्स में ट्रेनिंग ये होती है कि आप थोड़ी देर बाहर जाके आए, थोड़ा सा घूम के आए। अभी वो सब पूरी तरह से बंद हो चुका है, किसी से बात नहीं कर सकते हैं, सारा टाइम स्क्रीन पे चिपके रहना पड़ता है। तो अभी हमने देखा है कि हमें अलग अलग तरीके के कोपिंग मैकेनिज्म्स को डेवलप करना पड़ता है। जैसे उनके साथ हमें कई बार बैठ के ब्रीदिंग टेक्निक्स करनी पड़ती हैं, ताकि, क्योंकि उनके पास वो जगह नहीं है जहाँ पे वो अकेले बैठ के थोड़ी देर अपने साथ बिता सके। आइसोलेशन बहुत बढ़ गया है, और एक आइसोलेशन ऐसा है, आइसोलेशन का एक्सपीरियंस बहुत सा अगेन शेम के साथ जुड़ा होता है। अगर जब हम किसी ट्रॉमा से गुजरते हैं, कोई दर्दनाक हादसे से गुजरते हैं, तो कई बार हम अपने आप को अंदर की ओर मोड़ लेते हैं, और उस अंदर की ओर मोड़ लेने की प्रोसेस में हम अपने आप को आइसोलेट करते हैं। तो कई बार मुझे उनके साथ ये काम करना पड़ता है कि ये ट्रॉमा अभी थोड़ी देर के लिए है, ये हमें वो ही ट्रॉमा नहीं है। सो काफी इंटरमिंगलिंग सा हो रहा है उनके लिए, जो कई बार मुझे मतलब कुछ रियलिटी को मद्देनजर रखते हुए कि ये है तुम्हारे पास। सो there is a continuous need to empower and bring them in touch with the reality, which a lot of times is something that I am noticing that I'm doing with them. Kai baar the hand holding has definitely increased. But the other side also is जो लोग social anxiety से deal करते हैं, जो उनको ज्यादा लोगों के सामने जाना अच्छा नहीं लगता है, जो फोन पे बात करने में ज्यादा comfortable होते हैं, उनको ऐसा लगता है कि ये लॉकडाउन की परिस्थिति बड़ी अच्छी है, क्योंकि उनको किसी के साथ जाके मिलना नहीं है, कोई पार्टी में जाना नहीं है, कोई फोर्स नहीं कर रहा है जाने के लिए, तो उन्हें ऐसा भी लगता है कि अच्छा ये तो चलो हमारे लिए बना है। तो कई बार उनको ये बताना पड़ता है कि उसकी वजह से कुछ और भी प्रॉब्लम्स हो सकते हैं, जैसे आर यू नो नॉट बीइंग इन टच विथ योर लव्ड वंस, कनेक्शंस हो रहे हैं कि नहीं, क्योंकि एज ह्यूमंस irrespective of the gender, as humans we need that connect. And a lot of times these days हम human touch भी नहीं हो रहा है, especially जब कोई गुजरता है। हमारे यहाँ कुछ रिचुअल्स हैं जो बहुत जरूरी होते हैं, किसी चीज को, जैसे बहुत सारे people whom I'm working with, so they are losing their loved ones, so I'm working with the survivors, and when I'm working with the survivors, they are not able to say a goodbye to them in a proper way, नहीं कह पा रहे हैं, जैसे वो अंतिम विधि नहीं कर पा रहे हैं। कई बार कुछ लोग बहुत सारी चीजें जो उन्होंने कभी सोची नहीं थी वो हो रही हैं। तो ये क्राइसिस सिचुएशन काफी बार बहुत सारी ट्रिगर्स लेके आता है मेंटल हेल्थ इश्यूज में। अगर कोई डिप्रेशन से डील कर रहा है, सो बेसिक हाइजीन मेंटेन करने में मुझे उनसे बात करनी पड़ती है, जैसे आप किस तरह से अपने डे को सेगमेंट करें, किस तरह से, तो थोड़ी हैंड होल्डिंग बढ़ गई है, और लैंग्वेज ऑफ कि क्या हो रहा है आपके साथ, अब्यूज बढ़ा है, नीडलेस टू से, क्योंकि कई बार अब्यूज को बचाने के लिए हम तरीके ये यूज करते हैं कि आप दरवाजा मत बंद करिए या घर के बाहर थोड़ी देर चले जाइए, लेकिन वो अभी नहीं हो सकता है। जो नेबर्स जो एक वो रिंग द डोरबेल जो भी था कि कि अगर आपको किसी से आवाज सुनाई दे रही है आप जाके नेबर की डोरबेल बजाइए, वो सारी चीजें भी हम we used to bank on them so that there are some mechanisms present, लेकिन वो सारी चीजें अभी है नहीं। तो then help them with more of helpline numbers, connect them with groups, connect them with keep them connected, so because connection से हम abuse को कम कर सकते हैं। So to work on that, so it's a different kind of challenge, very unprecedented times, we don't know what's going to happen next, so और ये ऐसा भी है ना कि मैं खुद भी कोविड टाइम्स गुजर रही हूँ, सो उसको ध्यान में रखते हुए देयर इमोशनल वेलबीइंग, व्हाट्स हैपनिंग टू देम, सो या वो ऑब्जेक्टिविटी बना के रखना, उनसे वो उसके बारे में बात करना। सो yeah, then a lot of times when I'm doing the reality check with them, because the numbers are crazy, जो मीडिया से जुड़े हुए हैं वो शायद समझ सकते हैं कि sometimes the reporting is done in such a way that it just triggers a lot of things for people who are dealing with mental health, and sometimes to then help them see, okay, what are the other options that you have, stay connected with what's happening in the world, but हमारे पास और क्या options है, to actually sit down with them and select the newspaper or select the magazine which will give them the information, relevant information, and help them maintain a hygiene of certain things. So ये मैंने नोटिस किया है कि पिछले एक साल में मेरा ये काम काफी बढ़ गया है। And when I'm especially working with women who have just delivered babies during COVID times, उनका ट्रॉमा अलग है, क्योंकि हॉस्पिटल में जाना, किसी और को कोविड ना हो जाए, मुझे कोविड ना हो जाए, बच्चे को कोविड ना हो जाए, the uncertainty of the future, which again brings in a lot of anxiety. So उसे किस तरह से डील करना है? So I bank a lot on breathing techniques, I bank a lot on what is present in the now, and that is what is keeping me going as a therapist with them, and I notice that they value it a lot as well.
Very, very interesting and important points, Nehal. Thank you. Vishal, how are physiotherapists helping people to recover quicker in this COVID situation?
So, Dr. Kamal, physiotherapists don't only see the pain and injuries, they also see the cardiovascular health, right? neuromuscular health, musculoskeletal health, and everything, right? So as a cardiovascular physio, uh, we give our patients certain breathing technique exercises, which it comes in a cycle. So it is called active cycle of breathing technique. I think Snehal might be knowing about it, right? So that is one of the technique. And other things are people are losing their strength due to prolonged hospitalization, due to illness. So for improving their strength, improving their balance, even we physiotherapists come there for our work. So I would like to teach you all 3 simple breathing exercises, I guess, that will help you improve your lung function, right? So I want all of you to switch on your cameras if you could. I'm giving a minute here. Right. Okay. So I will start. Okay. In the first exercise, it is called as pursed lip breathing. Right. In this, all you have to do is inhale through your nose, count till 2. You can use this pattern: inhale 1 and 2, and then purse your lips like as if you're blowing out a candle or you're blowing a whistle, and let it out through your mouth for 4 seconds. Remember, your inhalation should be lesser than your exhalation. Okay, let's do it once. Inhale 1, 2, and exhale through mouth. Good. One more time. Inhale 1, 2, and exhale. Easy? Easy? Okay, everyone got it? Right. So next one is diaphragmatic breathing, or you can call it belly breathing. So this helps to reduce the load on diaphragm basically, which will improve your lung function at the end. So for this, all you have to do is put one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly. Okay. एक हाथ चेस्ट पे रखिए और दूसरा हाथ पेट के ऊपर. ठीक है. इसमें भी सिमिलर टाइप का ब्रीदिंग करना है. नाक से लेना है और मुंह से छोड़ना है. ओके. Inhale and exhale. Right. Inhale and exhale. इसमें हमारा पेट ज्यादा बाहर आना चाहिए as compared to our chest. ठीक है. One more time. Inhale and exhale. All right. Easy. 2 exercises done. Okay. So the last one is coordinated breathing. In this, we give activity, and with it, we give breathing exercises. So the best way to do this is yoga, pranayam, or yoga exercises. It is the best way. So for now, what we give to COVID patients is very easy. We just ask them to lift their arm up from side. And while they're lifting up, they have to breathe in. And while they're getting the hands down, you have to breathe out. हाथ ऊपर लेते हुए सांस अंदर और हाथ नीचे लाते हुए सांस बाहर. Okay, let's do it. हाथ ऊपर लेते हुए सांस अंदर, हाथ नीचे लाते हुए सांस बाहर. One more time. हाथ ऊपर लेते हुए सांस अंदर और बाहर. All right, these 3 breathing exercises will help you a lot in improving your lung function and even your mood. I think Snehal will agree with that. Right. So the other thing I want to point out here is at our company, we have technology, and our brand Curalgia, that is curing pain with ease. We are giving free physiotherapeutic treatment for COVID-19 patients who have recovered or who are in the recovery or who are still infected with no fever. It's completely free for 7 days, right? And after that, you can enroll in our program for further assistance, right? So I'm sharing my website here at the chat. You can contact me anytime. You can visit the website and enroll yourself in this. And also, apart from this, if you have any kind of pain, like I said in my story, ignoring pain will cost you a lot. For that also, we have kept first physiotherapeutic consultation free on our platform. So please do not ignore your pain. It will only cost you a lot in the future. So that's it from my side, I guess.
Thanks very much, Vishwal. We're definitely going to incorporate these breathing exercises in our daily routines. Rima, I wanted to know, how has the pandemic translated to increased entrepreneurship opportunities?
So entrepreneurship opportunities have got impacted in different ways. So a lot of people who are, for example, personal trainers, and I'm talking about in the wellness fitness, their businesses have got completely changed because they're no longer going to be able to visit homes, and so they are switching to other channels of communication. Could be YouTube videos, could be something else. Thanks to COVID, a lot of emphasis now is also being placed on nutrition, on boosting immunity, and getting fit overall. So I myself, for example, have started taking a lot of supplements of neem and haldi. Those are very common things, or doing like breathing exercises. So we are finding that a lot of women are, and that is something women can do very naturally, they can do very well. So a lot of these Ayurvedic based products, a lot of the nutrition products, wellness based products, we are finding that a lot of interest is being generated around this space altogether. And that actually has been triggered by COVID. And it is not just nutrition, it also could be spiritual fitness, for like yoga and meditation. And I would just like to add to what Vishwal was saying. A lot of these pains that we feel are actually rooted in some emotional cause somewhere. A lot of the back pain, stiffness, this pain, that pain is all related to some pain internally, some wound, mental wound that we have been carrying. So it is holistic. Again, I come back to it as being holistic fitness. And therefore, we are seeing a lot of demand for these kinds of opportunities, these kinds of areas. We're seeing a lot of demand in these things.
Thanks, Rima. Swagatika, I just wanted to know, how important is nutrition in building up immunity to prevent a COVID attack? And once having got it, to build up one's strength and nourishment through good food. Could you just enlighten us on this, please?
So in any, like for the entire fitness of the body, nutrition plays a very important role. Generally, it's said that 80% of our health and well-being depends on the food that we eat. The food is itself a medicine if we choose the right food. So for that also, we need a lot of awareness, especially among women, because they are the ones who generally prepares or who generally have a huge share in deciding the food of the family. So we need to develop a lot of awareness. So coming to the COVID times, generally the kind of food that we are taking now should be freshly prepared, should be hot. We should not keep it for a long time in the refrigerator and then we consume it. So that generally the nutrition value of the food decreases for the longer the time we keep it inside our fridge. So basically, we have to take an antioxidant high food, like food which are rich in antioxidants, which generally boost our immunity, such as garlic, ginger, turmeric, and for like just a general rule for having a good health is basically dependent on 4 factors. One is exercise at least for 30 minutes, at least 5 days per week. Second is have nutritious food consisting of a balance of proteins, vitamins, minerals, and I would request that if we can reduce the consumption of carbs after 3 p.m. So that is actually very beneficial for the body because carbs take a long time to digest and it gets converted into fats. And other thing is mixing carbs and fats together, like uh, pizza with cheese. So that is not a very good combination. Actually, both are source of energy, and the body gets confused when it has both carbohydrates and fats. So the other thing is we need to be very particular about our sleep pattern. So nowadays people are generally sleeping in the morning hours. So our body actually recover very well when we sleep at the night because of the climate, the weather during the night time. So a night sleep is more restorative compared to a day sleep. And the last thing is the water. The water intake, at least it should be around 3 to 4 liters per day for all the processes inside our body to take place at a proper way. So that is the thing. And I would say, like, our Withstand Fitness is committed in providing good services, like at a very affordable price. So our range starts from 250 rupees for a month. So basically our goal is like to provide a fitness regime, regular fitness regime, at the cost of a pizza. So if you have the money to eat a pizza, you also should have the money to work out for 3 days or 5 days a week. So it starts with 250 rupees for 3 days per week, and we are providing 5 days free demo sessions. So I'm also putting my website link out there. So anyone, if you are interested, you can just book a 5 days free demo session and you can avail. Plus, we have free consultation with a nutritionist. So regarding your food, regarding if you want to discuss more about what kind of diet you should get into, he's going to clarify all these things. So thank you for having me here, and it was a pleasure meeting such wonderful ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Thanks for those very, very valuable inputs, Swagatika. One point, Snehal, as a mental health practitioner, what are some healthy practices you would suggest to women entrepreneurs?
Oh, for women entrepreneurs, मैंने सोचा था कि सबसे पहले इसके बारे में बताऊंगी कि जो स्वगातिका ने बहुत अच्छे से बताया कि आप कई लोगों के लिए खाना बनाती हैं. You make sure that वो खाना आप तक भी पहुंचे और गर्मा गर्म आपके तरफ पहुंचे. So self-care is something that I would definitely emphasize on. That you know कि आप अपने लिए जरूर अपना उसमें से हिस्सा जरूर खाएं और अपने लिए अपने बारे में पहले सोचें. Especially when you're taking care of this. Second, sleep hygiene. Again, I would insist on that, and I definitely would, emphasize on it. क्योंकि कई बार that is what is getting messed up right now. Especially if you have, you're thinking about future, worried हैं कि कैसे मेरा business चलेगा. ये मैंने इतना बड़ा risk ले लिया है. अब मैं क्या करूँ इसके साथ? So take it as a thrill component that it is getting added to your life. Take one day at a time, and maybe also take care of a lot of other things that are happening to you when you're thinking about your business. Third thing that I would definitely like to insist upon, and that has helped me quite a bit during the COVID times, because I'm also a freelancer. So a lot of my business is upon the work that I, bring in. So that's how my model also works. So playing is something that has added a lot of value to my life. Just a khel, some game. It could be a solo game, but if try and make it possible without the screen, because there is a lot of screen fatigue that we are all going through at this point. So if you could play something, right? एक छोटा सा puzzle कर बना लीजिए या कुछ पेंट कर लीजिए, लेकिन उसके अंदर खेल खेल के पेंट कीजिए. जैसे guess करते हुए कुछ कीजिए जो आपको entertain करे. And playing has a lot of importance. It brings about, we call it touching the inner child and working with the inner child. So कई बार हम जब crisis situation में होते हैं, actually play can give us a lot of ideas as to how to deal with crisis situation. So अगर अभी contact sport possible नहीं है, लेकिन some kind of play is necessary. So these were the three things that I thought I should emphasize on.
Thank you. We had actually set aside 10 minutes for a Q&A session, but I think all the answers were so comprehensive Are there any questions that anyone wants to ask still at the end of it all? Any of our audience? I mean, are there any questions that have been left unanswered?
Kanchan has raised her hand. Maybe Kanchan can
Yes,
ask.
Kanchan, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Aparna. Wonderful program as ever of women in entrepreneurship. And thank you all the panelists, right from Dr. Kamal, Dr. Vishwal, Reema ji, Snehal ji, and Swagatika. Really enjoyed the discussion. So I'm the founder of Loan Genie based out of Bangalore. And we give loans to people who are working in companies. My question to Dr. Vishwal specifically was that when you were injured, what kind of a strength did you draw from inside of you? What kind of strength did you draw from people around you to overcome that, shearing pain or, that physical kind of disability for a little while? So how do you, do and face such challenges? Could you share that with us so that, in case some of us, because not knowingly, but unknowingly, we do tend to fall in such situations wherein we fall terribly sick. So how do you face such challenges?
So, like I said, at the time of the race, and also before that, I told you that I fell in love with the sport. I fell in love with the adrenaline that came through the competitions, through the races. And also my parents, especially my mom, she always used to travel with me for the races and everything. My coaches and my other competitors as well. We used to support each other, even though we used to be neck to neck on the competition, but that support that I got, that encouragement, that push that I got from there is what kept me going.
Okay.
Right. Basically it was the adrenaline, of course, and all this support and the passion, basically the passion that I need to win this. I need to do this. I need to make this change. As an entrepreneur, I need to make this change that no one ignores their pain. So this is the thing that keeps me going. And I think this is something that everyone needs, that passion for their dream. But on that line, do not ignore your pain. Again and again, I'm saying the same thing.
Sure.
So that is there.
Sure. Thank you, Dr. Vishwal. Really appreciate you bringing out your personal pain and the agony that you went through just to ensure that others don't face it. So
Yes.
Appreciate your mission. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kanchan.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Other questions?
Kunjat Tada is there. She has a question, and Swapna. I think after that we can choose. Yes. Two more questions.
Hello. Hi, ma'am. Happy morning to all. This is Swapna from Chennai. Actually, I'm working in one kind of NGO. What I was felt at the pandemic situation, all are stay at the home. We are having both official works and the personal works also. At the time, we encouraged the. Actually, I was working for empowering women, ma'am. That's my major role. Once we are talking with the people, they are felt at the time of pandemic, we are doing exercise and otherwise yoga, otherwise in our family works, and then we are working for our official works also. It's giving more pressure and full of frustration only all of women are felt. So what type of guide?
Do we have a connectivity problem?
We lost your voice, Swapna.
Hello?
So till she gets on, is there someone else who would like to ask the question?
Kunjat Tada.
Yeah.
यस मैम, मैं हिंदी में बात करूंगी। मेरा सवाल ये है कि जैसे मैं एक योगा टीचर हूँ, मैं रोज ऑनलाइन सेशन ये कोविड में लेती थी और अभी भी मेरा चालू ही है, लेकिन सब लोग इतना इंटरेस्ट नहीं दिखा रहे हैं। गवर्नमेंट भी इतना अवेयरनेस दिखा रही है उस प्रोग्राम में, लेकिन वुमन है वो बिजी भी होती है, सब काम भी संभालती है, तो वो रेगुलर नहीं कर पाती। या फिर जैसे ऑनलाइन है, यूट्यूब है, वो सब भी देखती है। तो
I'm sorry, excuse me. Please talk by English, ma'am. I couldn't understand.
sorry ma'am, I can't speak English because I am belong to
Okay,
Gujarati.
no problem. Anyone please translate this after her talk, ma'am. Please for me. Kind help.
ओके मैम। तो वुमन को वो मेंटल हेल्थ, मानसिक तौर से भी उसे मजबूत बनाना पड़ता है। तो हम ऐसा क्या करें कि जिससे ज्यादा से ज्यादा महिला जुड़ सकती है, और अगर जुड़ती है तो वो एक जगह पर टिकती नहीं है, उसे थोड़ी बहुत दिक्कत भी रहती है, काम भी तकलीफ रहती है। और जैसे मैं बोलती हूँ, मुझे इतना नॉलेज नहीं है इंग्लिश का भी, और मैं अभी लैंग्वेज प्रॉब्लम तो फेस कर ही रही हूँ, साथ में ये सब कंप्यूटर उससे भी यूज टू होना पड़ता है। जैसे अभी किसी ने सेशन में बताया था कि रूरल एरिया में सिर्फ हम नेट चला सकते हैं, व्हाट्सएप देख सकते हैं या फिर जूम अटेंड कर सकते हैं। मैं खुद अपनी वेबसाइट नहीं बना सकती, तो उसको भी अवेयरनेस कराना पड़ता है वुमन का। तो उस तरह से थोड़ा कई भी सिचुएशन होती है तो कैसे हैंडल करें, ये सब सिचुएशन है। मैं खुद एक रूरल एरिया से हूँ, जहाँ पर अभी मेरे ही देखे तो यहाँ पर सब गुजराती ही समझ में आता है, हिंदी तो दूर की बात है, इंग्लिश तो वो तो बहुत दूर की बात है। तो सबको कन्विंस करना पड़ता है कि कैसे आप योग से कर सकती है, मानसिक अपना संतुलन बनाए रख सकती है। साथ में मेरे पापा जो खुद आज से 35-40 साल पहले प्राणी हीलिंग करते थे, तो सब लोग उसे जादू तो ना करते हैं ऐसा बोलते हैं। तो उससे भी अवेयरनेस लानी चाहिए कि नहीं, हमें अपनी सेल्फ फीलिंग कैसे करनी है, हम अपनी मेंटल हेल्थ कैसे इम्प्रूव कर सकते हैं। तो वो मैंने सेल्फ फीलिंग का छोड़ के योग को चूज किया, क्योंकि पापा का इतना बुरा एक्सपीरियंस था, और साथ में वो तो बिजनेसमैन थे, उसको उतना टाइम भी नहीं मिलता था, फिर भी वो रात को सबको सिखाते थे और उसको हील करते थे। तो इस वजह से मैंने वो छोड़ दिया और फिर अब मैं योग में आई। लेकिन अब लोग ज्यादा जानते हैं कि हीलिंग क्या है, हम अपनी शक्तियों को अंदर से कैसे जागरूक करके हम कोई भी एक काम पर फोकस कर सकते हैं। अगर मैम ने, स्नेहल मैम ने बोला था कि अगर तुम नहीं कर सकती ऐसे बोलोगे तो आपका जो है हेल्थ वो बिगड़ जाएगा, आप खुद ही एक तरह से उस तरह से बन जाओगे। तो मेन इशू तो ये है कि कैसे सबको बताए, और ये जो लैंग्वेज प्रॉब्लम आती है वो, तो उस पर भी थोड़ा फोकस करना चाहिए।
I think we are running out of time.
Dr. Kumar, she raised a very, very important point about.
Do we have another question, or can we wind up?
Can I just respond to that just quickly, just to tell that हाँ, मैं सिर्फ इतना कहना चाहूंगी कि आप जब औरतों से योग में काम करने की शुरुआत करती हैं, पहले एक 15-20 मिनट उनको साइको एजुकेट करें, उनको बताएं कि क्या जरूरी है, क्या जनरली आपने ऑब्जर्व किया है, और उसके हिसाब से फिर उनसे कनेक्शन बनाए रखें, जो भी लैंग्वेज में हो कनेक्शन बनाए रखे, और उनको थोड़ा सा एजुकेट करना जरूरी है कि योग में मैंने ये देखा है कि शुरुआत तो कर देते हैं लेकिन औरतें उसको छोड़ देती हैं, तो किस तरह से उसे आप अपना एक्सपीरियंस शेयर करें उनसे, मतलब बिल्कुल 15 मिनट में, और उनको तैयार करें कि ऐसा हो सकता है, तो अगर ऐसा होता है तो मैं आपको याद दिलाऊंगी और आपको योग सेशन में आना है। ये एक तरीका हो सकता है।
एंड मैं ये बोलना चाहूंगी कि आप ऐसा कर सकते हो कि मतलब जब भी आप कोई फिटनेस रिलेटेड कुछ शुरू कर रहे हो, लाइक आपको अपना 80% एनर्जी अवेयरनेस करने में लगाना चाहिए, क्योंकि इनिशियल कुछ दिन आपको सिर्फ अवेयरनेस ही फैलाना है कि योग करके लोगों को क्या फायदा होगा, और क्यों वो अपने समय से 30 मिनट या 1 घंटा निकाले, क्योंकि आजकल की दुनिया में टाइम का कंस्ट्रेंट है, मनी का भी कंस्ट्रेंट है। तो आपको वो अवेयरनेस लोगों को वो मतलब प्रिपेयर करना है कि वो आपके क्लास पे आए, और एक बार जब वो आपके क्लास में आते हैं, आपको इस तरह से उनको सिखाना है कि उन्हें लगे कि वो अपने डे टू डे लाइफ के साथ उसको कनेक्ट कर सके। मतलब जब आप कुछ सिखा रहे हो उसको उनके डे टू डे एक्टिविटीज के साथ कनेक्ट करवाइए, और उनको बताइए कि ये उनको कैसे मदद कर सकता है, मतलब वो रिलेशन कनेक्शन आपको बनाना है बेसिकली।
Thank you. Yeah, is anyone else?
Yes, Kamal, Sonia.
Can you wind up? Okay, so we've
Kamal, just one second. Sonia
Okay.
Kriplani from the Unknown Planet would like to say a couple of words because
Okay.
she believes in rural empowerment, and both the questions are related to women who are working with rural women. So
Sure,
Sonia?
Please go ahead.
जो आपने दो चीज कही थी, एक आपने कहा था आपको कॉन्फिडेंस और इंटरेस्ट दूसरी औरतों में जगाना है, और एक आपको अपने आप को जागरूक करना है। आपको लैंग्वेज का करना है और आपको अपना वेबसाइट करना है। और ये मैं बिलीव करती हूँ 2 इम्पोर्टेंट पॉइंट्स है, बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट पॉइंट्स है। एक तो मैं आपको ईमेल अपना दे रही हूँ, प्लीज रीच आउट टू अस, हमारी टीम्स आपको हेल्प करेंगे। एक ये बात है। दूसरी बात है जो आप अभी बात कर रही है, आप कोई स्ट्रैटेजिस्ट से लाइक स्वागत और या रीमा जी से कनेक्ट कीजिए या हमसे भी कनेक्ट कीजिए, जो आपको गाइड करेंगे कि आपकी स्ट्रेंथ क्या है और आप वहां पे कहाँ से लेके जा सकते हो उधर से। और जो स्नेहल मैम ने बोला वो बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट है कि क्रिएट अवेयरनेस। अगर आप अपनी वैल्यू, अपना जो आप दे रहे हो ज्ञान, किसी को नहीं समझाओगे कि कितना ज्ञान मिल रहा है, क्या उनकी आज के दिन में जब ये जरूरत है, वो ज्ञान देने का आपका क्या वैल्यू है, जो आप उनको दे रहे हो। हाउ वुड वन ट्रांसलेट द वर्ड वैल्यू इन हिंदी? जो आप जो what is the translation for value, the word value in Hindi? I'm sorry, I haven't spoken Hindi in a while. But जो आप चीज आप उनको दे रहे हो, जो महत्वपूर्ण चीज दे रहे हो आप उनको, वो आपको पहले, जैसे स्नेहा जी ने बताया, वो आपको पहले समझाने हैं। तो अगर आप अपने आप इतनी कॉन्फिडेंट नहीं हो, जो सर मैं सुन रही हूँ, तो आपको वो थोड़ा पहला आपको ही बैठ के सोचना है कि मैं क्या दे रही हूँ, और तभी आप सबको कम्युनिकेट करोगी। और इसके लिए आपको कभी कभी मिरर की जरूरत है, जैसे अस्पायर करती है नॉट अलोन, जो वो लोग अपस्किलिंग कर रहे हैं, या स्नेहल जी से बात कीजिए, या रीच आउट टू अस, हम लोग भी हैं यहाँ पे।
Thank you, Sonia. I have shared both Swapna's details as well as I will share. कुंजित, आप आपका ईमेल आईडी दे दीजिए सोनिया मैडम को। Yes, thank you so much, Sonia.
Is there anyone else?
I think we are at the end of questions.
All right.
End
so
of
then we've come to the end of a very interesting and information-filled panel discussion. And if after listening to the work that's taking place on ground zero by all these wonderful people over here, our panelists, if you are interested and motivated enough to share it so that more deserving people may benefit from the work that's being done, the purpose of this discussion would have been achieved. Thank you all so much, our panelists, for sharing their invaluable inputs with us, and our audience for being there and asking such interesting questions, and to Aparna for having organized this seminar. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Dr. Kamal. Thank you, Kamal, for taking it up and coming in as a wonderful moderator. All the panelists brought in such rich value. I think there is so much more actually. This was a very generic session, and I think we tried to pack in so much into one session. You can write books and books on this. And I'm sure you can have a series of talks for each one. If I had to give Dr. Vishwal an hour or Snehal an hour, I think even that would be less, or Rima 1 hour, meaning you need so much more. But at least we've started off on the journey, and I'm happy to I'm happy that it went off so well. Thank you so much. And I would like to welcome all the participants who are not yet part of the Women in Entrepreneurship program to respond to the Google survey form that has been shared. You can join us on the Women Entrepreneurship program so that you can keep getting updates on events that would be organized every month. So we have mentoring programs as well as knowledge sessions like this. The next knowledge session is going to be a leadership talk, and we are in talks with women entrepreneur leaders who would come in with a session and a mentoring program as well. So look forward to having you on the group. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Dr. Aparna. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank
Aparna.
you.
It was a real pleasure to be a part of this group.
Yes, thank you.
Bye.
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 Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Abhimanyu. Thank you, Karthik. And thanks to the E-Cell, the E-Club of School of Management of IIT.
Yes.
That team,
Thank you, Karthik.
we have organized the entire thing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, Abhimanyu, for organizing it. Thank you, every panel member, for joining in.
Thank you.
Yep.
Pleasure.
Yes. We'll close,
Bye-bye.
we'll close the meeting. Thank you so much. Thanks all.
Yep.
Yes.
Thank you.
Everyone for joining in.
Have a nice day. Yeah.